welcome to the virtual Sunday service for the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lake Norman. Our fellowship walks diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but we are united in our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all, and the obligation to express our faith through acts of justice and compassion. We are an open and inclusive liberal faith community. All are welcome regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, ability, or economic status. My name is Nancy Embry, and I've been an active member of this congregation since 2015. We light our flaming chalice to illuminate the world we seek. In the search for truth, may we be just, and in justice, may we be loving. Today, we're fortunate to have our member Laurie Walker share a message with us. Laurie discovered the Unitarian Universalist faith when she was seeking a church home that better aligned with her beliefs. After describing to a friend what her ideal church was like, a church that was inclusive and had a commitment to social justice, the friend told her to visit the UU Church in Charlotte. Laurie knew during her first visit that she had found her home in the UU faith. She has been a UU since 1989 and later became a charter member of this church, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lake Norman. Laurie served on the first board of this fellowship in 2009. Laurie has enjoyed various other roles in the Lake Norman Fellowship, including music organizer for the services, choir member, worship committee chair, and most recently, Laurie has been a service leader, delivering the service Sunday message once a month. Laurie Walker is also a longtime yoga and mindfulness meditation teacher. She is focused on enhancing the well-being of older adults through her teaching and writing on her blog Namaste Connections. In addition, Laurie is an active volunteer for the Davidson Village Network, which is a nonprofit that strives to empower, support, and connect adults as they age into their 60s and beyond. And now Laurie Walker will share her reflection entitled Setting an Intention Amidst the Questions, which is inspired by the yoga practice of setting an intention at the beginning of a physical practice. Laurie offers two quotes to ponder. From Louis Armstrong, "What we play is life," and from Annie Dillard in her book entitled Writing Life. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. What we do with this hour and that one is what we are doing. And now, Laurie Walker.
Good morning. I'd like to start off our reflection today with a meditation. So if you would, get comfortable in your seat, perhaps placing your feet on the floor, uncrossing your legs, and sit nice and upright. Take a breath and let it go. Take a breath and let it go. We'll just take a few moments to experience a guided meditation. So I'd like you to imagine yourself in a place that brings you peace and calm. It could be a place that you've been to, or perhaps it's one that you would like to go to. A place in nature, by a river, or maybe by a beach, or perhaps by a lake. And see the place in your mind's eye. If you'd like, go ahead and close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze. So once you've chosen your place of calm, we're going to fire up our senses. I'd love for you to imagine in your mind's eye what the landscape looks like, the colors and the textures. Just be aware of what's around you. Maybe trees, boats, could be mountains. And then bring to mind what sounds you might hear in your quiet and sacred space. Maybe the sounds of birds, maybe children playing, maybe just the sound of the breeze. And then bring in any scents. What do you smell? Maybe the salt air if you're at the beach. Maybe the aroma of fresh coffee. It could be perhaps the smell of suntan lotion if you're at the beach. So what do you smell in this place of your choice? And then next, I'd like you to imagine what you feel against your skin. Perhaps warmth or coolness, the wind. And then in this place, noticing what you smell, what you feel against your skin, what you see, what you hear. Take a breath and let it go. Take a breath and let it go. And feel yourself relaxed, or maybe just releasing a little bit in your shoulders, in the jaw, ready to focus and come into this present moment. So take one more inhale and then exhale everything. And next I'd like to offer a song that's often sung by UU choirs and probably never done as a solo, but it just seemed appropriate for this reflection today, and us gathered here in virtually on Zoom, and imagining, like we did imagine being in that place of quiet, imagining that we're all together. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, Great Spirit, is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, Great Spirit, is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, Great Spirit, is in this very room. Next, I'd like to offer a poem to start off our reflection. It's by a poet named Tom Barrett, called What's in the Temple? In the quiet spaces of my mind, a thought lies still, but ready to spring. It begs me to open the door so I can walk about. The poets speak in obscure terms, pointing madly at the unsayable. The sages say nothing, but walk ahead, patting their thigh, calling us to follow. The monk sits pen in hand, poised to explain the cloud of unknowing. The seeker seeks just around the corner from the truth. If she stands still, it will catch up with her. Pause with us here a while. Put your ear to the wall of your heart. Listen for the whisper of knowing there. Love will touch you if you are very still. If I say the word God, people run away. They've been frightened sat on till the spirit cried uncle. Now they play hide and seek with somebody they can't name. They know he's out there looking for them, and they want to be found, but there's all this stuff in the way. I can't talk about God and make any sense, and I can't not talk about God and make any sense. So we talk about the weather, and we are talking about God. I miss the old temples where you could hang out with God. Still, we have pet pounds where you can feel love draped in warm fur and sense the whole tragedy of life and death. You see there the consequences of carelessness, and you feel there the yapping urgency of life that wants to be lived. The only things lacking are frankincense and myrrh. We don't build many temples anymore. Maybe we learned that the sacred can't be contained, or maybe it can't be sustained inside a building. Buildings crumble. It's the spirit that lives on. If you had a temple in the secret spaces of your heart, what would you worship there? What would you bring to sacrifice? What would be behind the curtain in the Holy of Holies? Go there now. So, like all of you, I'd rather be physically in a room with you together. I listened to the song In This Very Room a couple of times before I recorded this reflection. in this very room is a choir favorite for many UU congregations. So I saw it on YouTube, and I cried as I listened, because like I mentioned, of course I'd like to be with all of you. I miss you. I miss being with you. Today's reflection is about setting an intention amidst the questions of the world. In this time of physical separation, more than ever, we are, as the poem says, asked to visit our temple in the secret spaces of our hearts, to reflect and to discern our intentions. This practice of setting an intention was first introduced to me years ago when I began taking yoga. The teacher would pause briefly at the beginning of class and say, "Now, set an intention for your practice." As a beginning yoga student, I had no idea what she was talking about. What does stretching and breathing have to do with setting an intention about how I want to be in the world? As time went on, I came to learn that the idea of a yoga practice is really not to focus on just the physical practice and to be mindful and calm for the time we're on the mat, but to carry this state of being with you as you leave the class and into the world. My curiosity about yoga philosophy grew alongside my UU faith. As I let go of the dogma of my Christian religion and became a Unitarian Universalist, this practice of setting an intention became more meaningful when I came to experience the profound prayer of meditation and explore life's questions with my UU faith and the 7 principles as guidance. The Christian temple of my youth, in that Christian temple, there were answers to the question posed by the poem I read. And back to the poem, as it said, if you had a temple in the secret spaces of your heart, what would you worship there? What would you bring to sacrifice? What would be behind the curtain in the Holy of Holies? I was told who to worship and what my sacrifice would be and what was behind the curtain if I didn't follow the rules in the youth of my faith, in the faith of my youth. In yoga philosophy, there are guidelines, like our UU principles, on how to act in the world, and they are called the yamas and the niyamas. They are ways in which we can help ourselves and the world around us to be a better place. It is interesting to note that the yamas and the 5 niyamas represent the 10 commandments or the 10 tenets of Buddhism. These 10 guidelines encourage individuals to take ownership of their personal lives. Their wisdom lies in the path they offer for choosing attitudes and actions to follow when interacting with other people and the world at large. When one sets an individual intention, the considerations for outward actions are the yamas. And the 5 yamas are ahimsa, which is to be nonviolent in thought, word, and deed. Satya is a Sanskrit word for to be truthful, truth. Asteya, which means non-stealing. Brahmacharya, which is to use our energy correctly. And aparigraha, which means non-greed. The considerations for one's internal actions are called the niyamas, and they are personal practices. Sacha, which means cleanliness, Santosha, which means contentment, tapas, which is a Sanskrit word for self-discipline, svadhyaya is inner exploration, and Ishvara pradhana is contemplation of a higher power. Our UU principles, like the yoga guidelines, are not dogma or doctrine. They challenge us in a deeper way. Many of them challenge us to work together for a world that has not been fully realized. Though it is important for us to set our personal intentions, as UUs, our collective power is in the ability to envision the world together through the lens of our principles. When UUs make a collective, intentional commitment to envision a world in which the principles have become true, to envision it so intensely and in such detail that it becomes a genuine possibility, and to join with others in making that possibility real, our 7 principles turn into a challenging spiritual path. Our first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. The second, about justice. And the third, about acceptance of one another. Our fourth principle, the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which reminds me of one of the yamas. The fifth principle, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process. The sixth, the goal of world community, of a peaceful world. And the seventh, the respect for the interdependent web. These are all aspirations mostly, aren't they? We're not there yet. Except for maybe the fourth principle, the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which is really an individual principle. And fifth, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process. The others are visionary principles. Consider the sixth principle, for example. It even has the word goal in it. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We know we are not there yet. Together we work to move closer towards its realization. The second principle on justice, equity, and compassion in human relations continues to offer us more challenges, even among people with good intentions. We aspire to these qualities. We are not claiming them until everyone is free from suffering. Our first principle concerning the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and the seventh about the respect for the interdependent web, require more and more of our collective, creative solutions. When we set our intentions to gather and envision our principles as realities, together we will manifest it in our institutions and beyond. That's what it means to imagine something into existence. We are not there yet, but when we are committed to envisioning the world together as we have agreed by our principles, our vision will grow and our world will be a better place. Neither you or I are standing in this room alone. Through our good intentions and efforts, we are never separate. What's behind the curtain of Holy of Holies? It's you and it's me and our fellow UUs. It's us and our collective vision and work for a world that reflects our principles. Visions are harder than beliefs and guidelines. Neither you or I can do it alone. We need all of us. So I end with this very simple intention. Let's keep going. And I end with this short Navajo blessing. In beauty may you walk, all day long. May you walk in beauty. May you walk in peace. In joy, may we walk all day long. May we walk in joy. May we walk in peace. May you walk in peace. Go in peace and love.
Thank you, Laurie, for your thought-provoking message. We are grateful for the time you devoted to preparing this message and for the spirit of your presentation. And now let us enjoy a musical interlude from Mike Alec.
Greetings, everyone. Here's a song I think we all know. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. And though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Take it easy, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. Your music makes a special and appreciated contribution to our service. And we have some announcements now. If you are a visitor, welcome. We're so pleased you joined our virtual service. If you like what you've heard so far and are wondering how to stay connected or get involved with our congregation, please reach out to our membership chair, Linda. Her email address can be seen at the bottom of the screen. For our members, we appreciate your keeping current on your pledges so that we will be ready to resume our services and other aspects of our church life when life in general returns to normal. We're coming up on election time for our church, when all members can cast their votes for trustees and for members of the nominating committee. This election will be held on Sunday, December 13th, during the 11 o'clock Zoom social and discussion hour. At this time, we will also vote on our 2021 budget and on social action priorities. Voting instructions will be explained. Nominees for trustee positions are Jim Price for Vice President, Sandra McFeely for Trustee at Large. Nominees for the nominating committee are Agnes Fiore, whose term would end December 2021, Linda Haydenberg, whose term would end December 2022, and Kim Worthington, whose term would end December 2023. Our weekly newsletter that comes to you by email has a link to join the 11 o'clock Sunday Zoom social and discussion hour, which is a recurring event every week. Please join us. Staying connected with each other during these challenging times is important for our well-being. We encourage members to continue reaching out to one another whenever possible. Contacting other members by phone or email can really make a difference during these days of necessary separation, and it certainly enriches the connections we've already fostered. And now, let us go forth and live our lives with integrity.